My name is Mike Weiss. I'm a storm tracker and also a storm safety specialist with Safe Rooms.
All right, Mike, as you chase storms, you have some pretty sophisticated vehicles here. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, what we have here is we basically have three tracker units. We have a course tracker one, which is a Hummer, 2006 Hummer, H3 Hummer, or H2, I'm sorry. Then we have also Tracker 2, which is also another 2006 H2 Hummer. And of course, the Bumblebee, as everybody calls it, which is Tracker 3, which is a 2006 Dodge Dakota, which is my personal vehicle. As you might be able to see, there's a few hail dents on it, unlike...
Oh yeah, there they are right here. I can see them right here.
Yeah, that's golf ball sized hail out of Sweetwater, Texas last year.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
I've seen worse. So what kind of, these are obviously not your run-of-the-mill vehicles here. What all special about them that you've got them loaded up with?
Well, as you probably noticed already, got the Davis Vantage View weather stations, which are all totally wireless, self-contained weather stations, which measure wind speed, wind direction, temperature, dew point, barometric pressure, so forth. They all feed into a control panel inside the vehicle here. This particular one has a satellite TV dish on top, which provides basically motion, in motion satellite TV service.
And the reason you would need that is for?
Well, we use it for demonstrations, plus a lot of your local stations, such here in the Oklahoma City area, utilize a live feed a lot of times when they're out chasing. And being a storm chaser, every little piece of information you can get helps.
Now, you've got probably a bunch of equipment inside too, I imagine, so you're staying ahead of the storm and know where to go. Can we take a look at some of that?
Yeah, in this particular vehicle, we have a Ranger 10 meter, also CB radio, but it's also 10 meter ham. You might see the little handheld scanner over there, so if we get out of the vehicle, we can still keep in touch and find out what's going on. Of course, the laptop, which we also run Barron's XM satellite weather. And
looks like you've got your Davis readout up here in the front.
Yes, sir. That's the control box for the Vantage View system on top.
Well, at least I can tell you this: for all the driving you guys are doing, these seats look comfortable. Got to be for as much moving as you guys are doing.
And of course, all the vehicles are four-wheel drive. You know, because especially here in Oklahoma, Kansas, some of these dirt roads, once it rains on them, you know, they're just slicker than snot.
I imagine you end up in some pretty austere environments.
Right.
Now, it looked like you had a pretty nice big screen there in the back. Let's see what you got in the back seat, because I'm sure you guys don't chase alone. That wouldn't be the smartest thing.
That's a 20-inch LCD.
And that's for?
It's flipped down. It feeds into the satellite dish, but also it has a deal that if anybody is in the vehicle riding with us when we're storm chasing, we can hook our laptop through it and they can see what we're actually looking at without looking over people's shoulder.
Now, are you guys doing any tours, or are you just, this is strictly research, isn't it?
It's strictly research. We hope to branch out into the to the tour area eventually, but right now the research part is more important. You know, save people's lives.
Have you had any close calls?
Well, previous vehicle I had was a 2004 Hyundai Santa Fe.
My guess is that's why it's the previous vehicle.
Yeah, Somerset, Texas, and it was 2007. We were close enough that the front end of the vehicle was raising up and down on it.
And that didn't scare you away?
No, it kind of scared me for that night, but other than that, it was, you know, it's a most of your storm chasers, you know, they do it for an adrenaline rush. You know, I won't jump off a bridge with a rubber band tied around me, but I'll do this.
Have you ever been in a situation where you had to stop because you were one of the first on the scene afterwards? Yes. And you need to get out and help? What's that like?
it's not a good feeling, but adrenaline at that time takes over, and you do what you have to do to get the job done.
I imagine though that while it's a bad situation to be in, it does have to be somewhat rewarding, realizing that you get out there and you're the first one there, and you can actually have a positive impact and help.
It's a helpless feeling. One of the reasons I teamed up with Oz Safe Rooms is because their rooms are above ground, and they're concrete reinforced. One of the reasons I teamed up with them, one of the incidents I did have back in 2006, I rolled up after a tornado went through, and it's a helpless feeling when you hear people knocking on the door of a storm shelter, underground storm shelter, trying to get out, but there's so much debris on top you can't do nothing for them. You just tell them, hold on, I got help on the way. And at that time, it was one of the ones that sits in a garage, and their car was actually on top of their storm shelter. They could not open it. The roof had fallen down on top of the car, so you couldn't back the car out. You couldn't do nothing. So it's just a helpless feeling. And that's one of the reasons I went with Oz, because they are rated the #1 safe room in the world.